Hello, welcome to my channel. Thanks for joining me for a pick a card reading. Today we're going to be asking, what are we manifesting next into our lives? And I have already pre-shuffled the cards, pulled a few cards, and then the main card on top. So we'll go through it. First we have the Magician, and with rose quartz sitting on top, so that's your first option. And here's a better view of the rose quartz. And then we have the Lover's card. On top of it, a pink fluorite. And I chose pyramids today. I don't really know why, but the last one is Temperance with amethyst on top. Okay, so think about where you're feeling the vibe. Pick the pile that you have the first instinct on, or maybe you can go into Google and just pick a number if that's easier for you. But ultimately, this is a general reading, so you're going to take what serves you and leave the rest. And yeah, I'll join me at the time step below. Thank you. Okay, pile 1, Magician. I'm going to move you to the center here. So instantly with this card, there's a lot going on here, especially, I was getting some vibes from the fact that you had rose quartz. It's like you have grown into yourself in a way of just kind of complete love and acceptance. And so this is kind of leading to more manifesting energy, like just overall, like you have somehow created a cycle. I don't know what you've done, but you're leading into a time of rebirth, really, of resurrection. You're becoming something, and that's pretty cool. So let's look at the first card. Ace of Swords has come out first. So what I see with the Ace of Swords is this, like all of your manifestation energy and everything like that, most likely toward a new career, you are about to experience a breakthrough. You're about to have new ideas popping. You're in this creative energy. You're able to just kind of reach this state of creative consciousness. And so that's what this card is about. Ideas are flowing from you, as you see here with this card. It's bursting out of your brain. And you have to trust yourself that you've collected enough skill to go for it. But this is really, you're stepping into flow energy with your creativity. The next card here, Six of Pentacles. So Six of Pentacles kind of tells me something about you have entered in a time of abundance, and you have this positive mindset, which is putting you deeper in flow. So it's all kind of playing together. Your magician energy is going to lead to giving and receiving and just kind of being in the flow and trusting yourself to be able to build what you're looking for. And then the final card I pulled is Four of Pentacles. This is actually interesting. This speaks of an internal struggle of an overgiving spirit. So it's almost like what's important for you to do right now is to be okay with not being able to give to everyone in your life. Like right now, it's okay to show that, yes, you're in flow with the universe and having that sense of gratitude. And it's always great to help others. But the reality is you have to conserve some energy for yourself. You have to conserve some energy so that you can leap off with what you want to do and to be able to manifest properly. So the Four of Pentacles speaks to that pretty significantly. Okay. And I'm going to pull some more cards. This time I'm just going to pull like a little bit about, so we know what we're working toward, which you're in this manifestation energy right now. You're pretty much at the tipping point of abundance. So as you get more and more creative, you're going to be incredibly abundant. So if you're conserving your energy, what's another thing that's important to know? And so the Knight of Swords came out. I do see this as mostly a career, maybe a hobby, or just something you've always wanted to do. Like it could be something like you've always wanted to really travel, but you haven't really gone for it. It could be something like that, but it's about, particularly with the Knight of Swords, you're going to have to want to step forward and be ambitious and take action. So it's not just about like sitting and thinking and manifesting and knowing that you brought in this energy and we'll say, giving some time for yourself, but it also means action. You have to really push forward with a sense of momentum and get this going. It's important. It really is important for your success. Death and rebirth. We talked about rebirth being part of the energy here, as well as, a sense of like you're stepping into something that you earned, and that was very difficult, your magician energy. So what I see here with death and rebirth is you just need to really like sit into the fact that change is happening and you are in the midst of transformation and you cannot predict the next steps in front of you, which I think is probably the scariest thing when you go after something new, is the fact that you want to be able to see what's right in front of you, but you can't. So it's important to really, when you start seeing yourself going deep into like a little bit of fear, yeah, things are changing, but I can't control it, to step out of it and understand that part of your manifestation energy, part of the fact that you're stepping into the magician energy is you are ready for the next phase. So just as much as people say, oh, you wouldn't experience something unless if you're strong enough to handle it, let's reverse that messaging in a positive way. You wouldn't be manifesting anything that's not like your transformation's all for positive because you built it. And this is something you've envisioned and you can handle it. You're not going to be handed more than what you can handle, absolutely, but you can handle all the positivity that comes with it. When we talk about the journey of the Knight of Swords and when you're coming in with action, the whole story is completed here with ending with the King of Swords, this masculine energy. You could be female, male, or non-binary, that doesn't matter. It's about this accomplishment as the King of Swords. When you're King of Swords, you're intellectual, you're very clear on what you know, you're great at communication, you have this mental clarity and this ability to tell truth and to bring people with you. You're leading, but you're also very comfortable in being on your own and stepping out. You see the wisdom kind of represented here by the owl. You see this forward momentum going on with other bugs and things that are in this card. It's actually pretty cool. But ultimately, does he look like he's doubting where he's headed? Absolutely not. There's a sense of knowing. There's a sense of, hey, I know I'll be good regardless. And even if I have a hiccup along the way, I'll be fine. I'm at the top of the mountain regardless. So it's important to remember that as you break out into this next phase. Again, it could be a career. It could be the fact that you want to take a risk somewhere. It could be a hobby. It could be anything. But really what this is about is telling you, trusting yourself, making time for yourself, showing yourself, that you're willing to put action in after your goals. And at the same time, of course, let go and not control it, which is so difficult. It's a balancing act for sure. And of course, understand that you are someone who is going to achieve what you're looking for. You are going to be on top of that mountain. So the back of the deck is the Queen of Swords, which is really crazy. It kind of completes this story though, because the thing about the Queen of Swords is she has an unbiased judgment and she's very clear on her boundaries and she's very direct. These are often qualities, especially as women, are often kind of not necessarily lauded when you're direct, when you know what you want, when you stand in your beliefs firmly. But here, this is nothing but positivity. Being clear on your boundaries goes back actually to the Four of Pentacles. Knowing how to insert and stand by what you need in the moment and staying in flow with the universe means at times you may have to be a little bit more conservative with your energy. You can't always, say yes to everyone. You're going to be more methodical about it. Okay, So I'm going to pull a couple of oracle cards to close out this reading. Oops. Cards falling here. Okay, I'll take the first one. Activated Earth. Power places, ley lines, trust where you are led. You know, this plays very well into the reading because you think about it, it's about being in flow with the universe, trusting where you're headed, but applying action as well. So you can't control every step, and it's accepting the fact that you can't, accepting that the only thing you can do is be true to yourself in this moment and know that you'll get to where you want to go eventually. It's enjoying the ride in a more simplistic term. Here's the next card. And it's Star Brothers, Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. This is a really great card. Mainly because if you think about it, sometimes we're afraid to go after what we want because it's like a sense of self-protection and we feel safe where we're at. We need to trust here. We need to trust that we'll feel safe where we're headed. And we can let go of whatever that is that's stopping us from going to our next step. We have to trust. And that's what this is talking about here. It's about, again, if you trust in the fact that you're protected and that the universe is loyal to you, which it is, it's loyal to everyone. You can get whatever you want. You can manifest whatever you want. Remember that. Remember to trust where you're led, but you also have to do like almost in a way like a trust fall. You have to let the universe catch you. You have to, let go. So let's pull one more card. This is actually the back of the deck here. Soul Gifts called. I'm going to show that because I don't know how well you can see it. Hopefully you can see it okay. Soul Gifts and Training. It's time to step up. Whatever you need to do to be successful and to go after this thing that you want, you got to do it right now. And it's incredibly important to do so. So it's time to step up. What is one minor thing you could do today to move you toward this goal? And then just do that every day. And it's really the story of the tortoise and the hare. Little by little, step by step. Don't worry about what the hare is doing. Just run the race. And we already know the outcome of the story. You're going to win. So you're fine. So if you just assign yourself to something that's so simple like the tortoise and the hare, you'll get there because it's all about faith and small little steps. Don't overwhelm yourself with all the details and all of the things that have to happen to get to where your end goal is. Enjoy the process. Start small and build. Okay, and with that, that's the end of the reading. I want to thank you for joining me. Feel free to subscribe and like, of course. But no, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. All right, take care. Hi, Pile 2. Thanks for joining me. My name's Antoinette, and we're going to, looks like you picked here the pink fluorite. Nice stone. And we have the Lovers. So the question is, what are you manifesting? What are you bringing into your world? And, there's a lot to be said here, especially with the stone that you picked. So, you're going to be, a lot of times we think about just with the Lover's card like a romantic love, but it's deeper than that. It could be self-love. It could be the fact that it's renewing relationships. It could be that you're bringing in new love. It could also be new partnerships. So we're going to have to explore what this is about for you, but keep in mind there could be a variety of interpretations here. And back here, one of the things that has come out just by pulling the cards for this deck is that we need to make way for like growth and renewal and imagination and creativity and all of those things to call in what we're wanting to call in here. So the Lover's card. Let's see what cards come next. So the first card is Ace of Wands. That's pretty cool. Okay. So Ace of Wands, this is about desire, and it's about creative force and going after something new, going after what drives your passion, drives your creativity, drives like that internal force that we all have. And when you look at it back from a lover's perspective, I do feel that a lot of you are looking at new love, and your mindset is already in a place of possibility, and that is huge. The idea that that's how you're thinking is massive, because you're open to the idea that interconnectedness, that this perspective of something that's new and exciting can come into play. If you look back at the Lover's card, looking at their connection here, it's a mental connection. It's not just a physical connection. It's a connection and passion as well. And then maybe even going after same creative goals. It could be all sorts of things, but you could tell by the picture that they're in tune, they're in line with each other. The next card is Seven of Pentacles. This card is very interesting to me because when I think of the Seven of Pentacles, I'm seeing that this one has a long-term view in mind, because you could tell there's been some root systems, there's several pentacles down here, and it's really starting to take off. And if you think about it, if you've had previous relationships that you feel like didn't work out the way that you planned, and you are single, then this is representing the root system, all of the lessons learned, and how much your foundation, the foundation of what you have experienced in your life, is building up to something pretty grand, is building up to manifesting love, manifesting a close friendship, manifesting self-love, or a new partnership, a new work partnership, whatever it is. Your previous, what could even be framed as failures, weren't failures at all. You were learning every step of the way. You didn't lose anything. You kept learning, you kept growing, and now you have such a strong foundation that you can call in what you want. I think that's all important to know. But if you already have love, then it could also be viewed as you're stepping into a new season. When you've been in long-term relationships, you've been together 5 years, 10 years, 15 years plus, you will automatically know there's been ebbs and flows in your relationship. It hasn't all been up, it hasn't all been down. It's been, in flow. And sometimes you and your partner maybe feel more connected than other times. You're heading into another stage where everything that you guys have been through together has grown this root system, this foundation, and you can welcome in happier times. It's coming. And you can welcome in stronger times, and maybe a sense of freeness. Maybe you've been, frankly, with the everyday kind of monotony of life, as well as challenges of life, sometimes it's easy to take each other for granted. You're stepping into a phase where you're growing it into something of gratitude and of love and of a deeper connection than ever. So that's for, if you are someone who is in a relationship for a long period of time, be excited, because that's what you're manifesting in. It's just a new spark and a new little kind of juice into your relationship. If this is something like you've been, really wanting to manifest a support system, especially around career, you're an entrepreneur, things like that, then you're calling on someone with a similar creative mind, as you see the symbolization here. You can kind of come together with new ideas, and you guys feed off of each other's creativities and passions. Again, whatever it took to build who you are today, you're growing into who you want to become. So, and that's the same for if, this is something that's just more for yourself. You're growing into who you want to become. And so that's what makes this reading so great. The Fool, that's pretty awesome. Closing out the initial cards that I pulled, the Fool is representing taking that leap of faith, new beginnings. It is a new beginning for you, and it's exciting, and it's time for you to welcome in some spontaneity. Even though maybe at times it may feel like you can't do that, you certainly can do that. You can call in this sense of just spontaneity and of freeness, knowing that what you're manifesting is riddled with love and passion and a sense of understanding. The next card out, Seven of Swords. So what do you need to do to, I always say when we manifest, we should be trying to manifest like the easiest road, right? To stay in flow and to make it where it's fairly painless. Of course, we'll have challenges, but it could be challenges where, we don't know our way around them and we're overwhelmed and all of that. Or are they challenges where we feel empowered as we get through them? Let's choose the empowered approach. Let's choose the empowered vision. So with the Seven of Swords, this is a card of strategy. And it's a card of also being grateful and being willing to move silently and quickly. So there's going to be times where you will need a little strategy with what you want to achieve, whatever that is, whatever goal you're going after. So as you drop in the Fool energy and you're spontaneous and all those things, don't feel like you just kind of get pulled with the whims of the other person. It's important to ground yourself. It's important to have a bit of strategic thinking around, is this really what I want? Is this really what I want to call into my life right now? Is this really something that I'm really feeling? So be clear on your desires. The other thing that's important to know is to be grateful. Be grateful for every step of the way. Be grateful for how it's unfolding. Don't try to fast forward to the next steps. Be grateful for how it's coming together. Queen of Wands. I love this card. It's full of so much energy. She looks super duper happy. The Queen of Wands is about showing a sense of courage and being cheerful and really experiencing, this sense of passion again. When you think about what we're talking about here, which is either a new love interest or revising a love interest in your life, going after something with passion and intention, as well as self-love. You think about all the things we're talking about here and what you're manifesting. Queen of Wands energy is bringing to fruition that sense of you've been checking in with yourself this entire time. And with that takes courage. It takes courage to stick to it when you don't know what the end is going to be. You're not controlling it. You're being the fool. You're laying into it. You're just letting it happen. You're being spontaneous. You're trusting you're in a new beginning. There's a sense of innocence, and there's a sense of cheerfulness, and there's a sense of all of these things. Well, that takes courage, and that's what she's representing here. She's mastered the element of fire, and she's sitting there in joy and in a sense of passion, right, and spontaneity and all those fun things. So that's where you're headed. And you just have to remind yourself of those qualities when it is difficult. You want to just sit and try to control it, try to master it, try to take over. Don't let it take over. You should be checking with yourself with strategy, because that's important, with a sense of, is this what I want? Is this what I envision? Do I need to course correct a little bit here? That's okay. But it's not trying to control every step in front of you. That's what you want to avoid. You have a major arcana that came out as the Moon card. And the Moon card it's our intuition. We need to stay really dialed into where any sense of fear, anxiety, being a little self-conscious, anything that makes us feel small, we need to really look at it and see the illusion that it is. And that's what this is about. We have two sides of ourselves. You can say that we're very positive with ourselves and we can see all these great things, but there's always those moments. There's always that time where fear may come in, a sense of anxiety may come in. And when that happens, We have to be willing, which is crazy. The back of the deck is the King of Pentacles. That's kind of insane to me. I don't know how that happened. Definitely not planned, but I'll take it. So I'll actually put the whole deck here just so you guys can see it right now. But to wrap up the Moon card, we have to be willing to look at any time where we're feeling fearful or doubtful or a sense of anxiety. We have to tap into our intuition and call back that cheerfulness, call back the sense of courage to step into ourselves. We end with the King of Pentacles. So I'm going to move this. It probably will fall out of frame, but I'm going to move it here. Okay, so the King of Pentacles. It's really key to think about this card in the way of it's wealth, but it's not just financial wealth. Financial wealth is always a great thing, but it's a sense of abundance is coming into your life. You're going to be abundant in love. You're going to be abundant in connection with others. You're going to have abundance in your passion, your creativity, and in this new beginning. So you have a very positive future in front of you. It's just staying the course, keeping that sense of full energy, being spontaneous, having a sense of innocence, being willing to show courage like the Queen of Wands. Okay, now I'm going to shuffle the Oracle deck and pull a couple of cards to wrap the reading. The first one is the Golden Children, Inner Child, Tenderness, Innocence, and Rare Gifts. Trust that you're lovable, that whoever's coming in for you or whoever you want to be for yourself or who you've been in this relationship versus who you want to become is all possible. Tapping into your inner child, being innocent again, being willing to explore those rare gifts that you have, being willing to expose those to other people without judgment, having the courage to show that to people without judging yourself is key. And that's what this card's talking about. It's talking about being able to step in to something that you've always wanted to be and you want to be in a relationship, being able to do that. And if this is like an entrepreneurial endeavor, showing your rare gifts to the world is one of the scariest things you could do. So the fact that you're doing that by being innocent, by tapping into a little bit of your inner child and the fact that you're proud to show it, you're excited to show it, you have something to say. Kids are never shy about when they have something to say, when they're proud of something. Tapping into that, if that's what it takes, will move you to this next level. The seas of Mintaka, I believe is the way it's pronounced. So seeing the potential of bringing unconsciousness to light. Kind of goes back to those rare gifts, doesn't it? There's a lot of things in our unconscious that we don't know are in there, whether it's positive in the fact that it's feeding us, or it could be negative in the fact that it's keeping us from what we want. Regardless, we should be able to see the potential of what we can be. And as we're looking and forcing the potential of what we could be and visualizing it and going after what we want, the potential of the relationship we've always wanted, even though we've never experienced it, where have we experienced something near it? Really honing in on that. And then as certain things come up from the unconscious, be excited to bring them to light, because the faster you bring to light unconscious beliefs that are not positive for you, the faster this relationship will come in. So you just have to stop and ask yourself, okay, I'm seeing this unconscious situation come to light. I'm seeing the fact that maybe I'm a little self-conscious about this or that, and therefore I'm protecting myself and I'm not showing my full self, so therefore I can't call in what I want. Then that is the best news ever, because the second you see it, you can correct it and you can move on and you will bring in what you want. The last card, which is at the back of the deck, is Starkeeper. Cosmic Ancestor, the Seed of Light by Staying Grounded. live in your imagination, be free and be creative, but also remember there is a sense of strategy that's needed. Remember there is a sense of, kind of planning your next steps, but you don't need to be militant about it, but stay grounded. So the thing about manifestation and manifesting love is you want to have some thoughtful steps toward it, but then you also want to leave room to be in flow. And that's what this card is reminding you to do. Stay grounded in reality, but also leave room for flow. It's that balancing act. And that can be difficult, but you're definitely capable of it. All right. And with that, thank you for joining me. Pile 2. Feel free to like this video, comment, subscribe, of course. But I really appreciate you hanging out with me. So thank you very much and take care. Hi, Pile 3. You're up next. The readings have been kind of interesting. We've talked about all sorts of things, but this card you chose is a Temperance card. And we have the amethyst pyramid here. So, what are you manifesting? What's coming in next for you? Let's get started. With the Temperance card, I'm feeling for you, you've done a lot of self-work. Like, you have worked on so many aspects of yourself. You've shown a lot of patience. You've worked with purpose. There's some mastery here of your shadow self, as well as, who you project in the world, right? But you understand the dark side of your personality, the dark side of maybe some of your behaviors. And you've been able to work with that and accept that. You've stepped into a place of balance, and you understand the value of patience. So your manifestation, you're in a very deep spiritual practice, and I think it's going to get deeper. So with that, let's go ahead and get started pulling the first card that came out for you. So 10 of Swords in reverse. This is a very interesting card for you. You have to really sit back and appreciate the fact of how far you've come. You've come a very far way. And we already were kind of leaning on that with Temperance, but this brings it home because you're in recovery. You have been regenerating. You've learned to let go of your negative emotions. You've learned to do that. Again, back to the mastery we talked about here with Temperance, back to the balance. So this first card really is kind of honoring where you've come from. At least that's how I see it. And you have decided to step out of a negative narrative. So next card up, the Star. That's a great card. It's a card of hope, faith, purpose. There's been times where you've struggled with trusting yourself, and having a feeling of connection with spirit, or with anything that you call it. So it could be spirit, it could be, with your own higher self, it could be anything, but we'll say with a sense of knowing. There's times where we feel like we can't connect with ourselves. And so you've gone through that, and now you're kind of coming through that with a sense of hope, with a sense of purpose. You want to feel renewed. You have mastered a lot, but it's almost like there's areas where you're desiring to grow further. So you're balanced in most areas, and there's just a few things left that are kind of preventing you from stepping into your full spirituality. King of Wands. The way I see this card is your key is actually creativity and stepping into being an inspiring leader. So there is maybe a sense of imposter syndrome here around stepping into the next phase for you, whatever that is. But it does seem more spiritual, mental, And so that's what you're manifesting. You're manifesting a way out of, we'll say, a lull, like a mental lull you've been in, or like a lack of inspiration, a lack of, like, you don't know what's next, and you've been manifesting, you have faith, and you've done the work, and it's just like you're frustrated, like, what is supposed to be coming? What's coming next? And so I think that that's very interesting. So the moon card came up for you. Similar to pile two. That's interesting that that card came up for you as well. The way I see it here is your subconscious mind, stepping into that a bit and using your imagination is probably some ways to really start breaking out and being this spiritual leader. Because right now it's almost like you start wanting to go for something, but then you get in your own head about it, and then you don't do it. And so it's important to actually go for it. There's the moon card. Sorry, I didn't realize it was off camera. Okay. So our next cards, let's find out what are the steps to kind of unleash this next phase. You've done so much work. It's incredible, frankly. What do you need to do? So, Hanged Man in reverse. You have to find the reason why you're resisting to move forward. This one's kind of hard because it's like, I've been there where you feel like you've done so much work and you don't know what's supposed to be coming next, and you're having the faith and you're being patient, all these things, but there's an internal resistance. So it's about kind of stepping back and surrendering a bit to the fact that, okay, there's something in me that's resisting it. What is it? And really getting clear with yourself on what that is. You can meditate on it and the answer will come to you, but it's going to be probably pretty simple to get through. Let me see if we can kind of get closer to what would be causing this sense of resistance. Okay, too many cards. Let me shuffle again. Ooh, 10 of Wands. Well, that's a nice direct answer, isn't it? 10 of Wands. You notice that she's clearly walking away from something. She's all packed up. We need to take responsibility for overextending ourselves and taking on too much. That's how I see this card playing out, is we have an opportunity to make better choices so that we can move on. So some of our blocked energy is about overextending ourselves, not giving enough time, not making room for the creativity. So yes, we have the hope and we have the faith, but we're constantly contending with the fact that we're not even giving ourselves room to feel that. We're giving ourselves more room and more obligation instead of giving ourselves room to step into where we want to be. So we are recovering. We have come a long way, and don't get distracted by other people and by other people's needs. Sometimes, making time for yourself is the most important thing. You can't, what they always say, you can't fill up somebody's cup if you don't have anything to give, right? If your cup's empty. So same thing here. That's what the 10 of Wands represents. So then we go right into the Page of Wands, which is interesting. You've had a lot of Wands energy in this reading. So the way out of it is to honestly start exploring and find something that brings you a sense of joy, something that brings you excitement and enthusiasm. That's what you should be focusing in on. So dial back, start practicing saying no, and instead give to yourself. Where do you feel excited right now? What would really juice you up right now? And do it. And it has to be for you. Even if it seems like a little thing, it puts you on the path where you want to go. And ultimately, your creativity and will flow with you. And there'll also be a sense of freedom, because right now, when you are overextended, it's really hard to feel free. So the back of the deck, Two of Cups energy. It's time for you to build a passion and build something that's for yourself. Show yourself a sense of self-love, I guess, but I would say a sense of unified love. Here's where I'm going with it. We overgive because we have a lot of love for people and we want to help them. And it could be friends, it could be family, whatever. That's how we overgive and that's how we burn ourselves out. But it all starts with that, right? So how do we give unified love? Well, some of the ways you can give unified love is it has to be a mutually supportive experience for yourself, and start seeing some of the things in your life with those goggles. Is this mutually fulfilling and loving for myself? If I overextend myself here and feel burned out, that's not mutually loving of yourself. So therefore, can I show this person love and actually not overextend myself at the same time, and therefore showing myself love? Being unified in how you show love is actually very important. So if you can do that, that's going to get you to kind of get you out of the mental, we'll say, block that you're in right now, and flow further with your creativity and your manifestation. You've pretty much mastered it. This is just a little bit of tweaks. So don't think that this is a major thing and you did something wrong. You've done nothing wrong. This just happens. It's a little tune-up. And your tune-up is, hey, really reevaluate your commitments in your life. Where can you give back to yourself? Where could you find fun and a sense of spontaneity and enthusiasm, and start working toward that, and start practicing unified love by what you accept, what you commit to. Are you showing yourself love, or are you just putting yourself farther and deeper down a hole? Okay, with that, I'm pulling some oracle cards. So the first one is trust timing. Trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. That card's perfect, especially with what we've been talking about, because a lot of times when we get in these kind of spiritual block modes, we're like, I'm losing time and I need to get through this. And it's so easy to get frustrated with yourself. But the reality is there's no reason to be frustrated with yourself. You're right on time. Time is not running out. You're exactly on the wave you came in on, as this card calls out, but you're just right on time. That's what we always have to trust with ourselves, because there's the comparison is a thief of joy, comparing yourselves to other people and setting timelines and expectations that don't serve you. Next card out, double mission. Okay. So this is the Light Worker Starseed card. You serve the world by being you. This is a perfect card for you. Again, you've done your spiritual work. This is just a tune-up. So being a light seed, being a star worker, or a light worker, sorry, you do serve the world by being you. You've done the work. It's just time for you to amplify that out. So when you think about the King of Wands, amplifying it out, amplifying out your creativity, amplifying out your sense of unified love, amplifying out all the things that you can bring to the table. You're bringing a lot to the table. You've done the work. So now you just free yourself from any heavy burdens that are not yours. That's all you have to do. You serve the world by being you. Release any burdens that aren't yours. Move on. Step into where you belong. Last card. Activated Earth. Power places, ley lines, trust where you're led. This came out for another group too. I think it was group 1. Trust. That's what manifestation's mostly about, right? Sitting in flow and trusting you're going where you're meant to go. So trust it. Let it happen. Grow with it. Know that this is going to happen. Know that it's okay. And I think that's the most important thing. So with that, we'll close out the reading with the final card here, but back of the deck, Breath of the Cosmos, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. She's speaking out what she wants into the universe, but she's also flowing through the universe. You can do both. This is what you're going to do on a spiritual level. You're not going to micromanage the universe. You're going to say, my will to thy will. This is what I want. You will speak it out and you'll remain in flow. So with that, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Pile 3. Feel free to like and subscribe if you would like. And yeah, appreciate your time and we'll talk soon, I'm sure. Thanks. Bye.